Today I'm here with Stewart Hardy. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you, man. It's such a pleasure to be on. And as someone who's normally on the other side asking the questions, I'm looking forward to being in the hot seat with you.
Stewart is the co-founder and podcast host of All In Sports Outreach. They're a faith-based organization, nonprofit that connects with coaches, athletes, and people in the community to help them just get connected with faith. With that said, can you just share with the audience a little bit about your background and about All In Sports Outreach?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you again for the opportunity. As you said, I'm a co-founder, if you will, of this organization we call All In Sports Outreach. We've existed for since 2015. We started in my hometown of Selma, Alabama, just doing sports camps, basketball and specifically. Then we did some football, just as a way to bring people together. You know, we live in it's no secret, we live in a divided community culture, and sports is one of the few things that consistently brings people together. So we started that. And then a few years into it, we decided that we'd give podcasting a try, just with this idea that you don't have to be that big name professional coach or athlete to have a story. Everybody has a story. Um, and so just creating a platform for high school, small college coaches and athletes to jump on and share their story. We talk about faith and sports, and we've been doing that since 2017. We've done a couple devotional books for coaches, written by coaches for coaches, and then we have a couple more coming out. So that's just a very high level view. We've got some other things happening this next year we can talk about if you'd like.
Yeah, definitely. And it's crazy to think 2015's almost it's 9 years ago now. So, what are some of the main lessons you've learned over these past 9 years?
Wow. Well, number one, this sounds so simple, is that there's a lot of good people in this world. And I say that, just because, I mentioned earlier that we live in such a polarizing and divided culture that we lose sight of the good. And so when you get together with people that share some similar values, similar interests, sports, for example, and you bring people together, people all of a sudden forget about politics, race, socioeconomic status. Forget about those things because you're doing something, a common goal. So that's been the biggest blessing and encouragement to me, is that when you find something that rallies people together for a singular purpose or goal, people put disagreements aside and work together. And that's been huge. I saw it a lot, honestly, over COVID. Things were shut down. We started doing a lot of stuff online, virtually. We had a weekly, we call it a virtual coaches fellowship. We'd have 40, 50, 60 men, women, high school, college, all levels. Coaches get on every Sunday night for an hour and a half, 2 hours, just hang out. Some, it was just a safe place. Some were hurting and prayed for each other. And anyway, it's just some incredible friendships through that. But again, it's just like-minded people putting differences aside and working together. And I just think it's an example of what a lot of people don't see because the news doesn't sell that. But there's a lot of good happening.
Definitely. Yeah, 100% agree. And on your website as well, Stuart, I looked at the five core principles that you have there. So those are accountability, leadership, love, integrity, and nourishment. So can you talk about those and how you've, in your podcast and just with the organization have helped coaches with those core principles?
Yes, those core principles is something and we're really diving into that a lot in 2024, but it's what we're calling the all-in process. Just culture, character development, or terms are just thrown out there a lot in the sports world, the coaching world, the business world, but it's usually in a very positive light. But in reality, every organization every coaching staff has a culture. It may not always be good, and they're always developing character. It may not be good. So just believing that you have to have, as a person and as an organization, as a coach, as a staff, as an administration in a school, you have to have a foundation of what you stand on. And so we came up with, to spell out all in, those 5 core principles, just believing that if I believe those as Stewart Hardy, that accountability is important. I'm going to do what I say I'm going to do, that I'm going to lead no matter what my position. I'm going to love my teammates. I'm going to love my coworkers. I'm going to do it with integrity and nourishment, just creating this environment that of growth. If I do that as a person, as Stewart, then I'm going to make the organization I'm a part of better. I'm going to make the team I'm a part of better, because that's what I stand on. And so if we all do that, then we're collectively rising to the top. So we're trying to come alongside coaches to create winners, but not just on the field, because these athletes are going to be husbands, wives, mothers, fathers one day. And we want them to leave a program with the foundation to stand on when the coach is no longer with them every day. And so that's really what it is. It's designed for, we call it a framework. So, Justin, if you're a coach and you're struggling with building like a formal character development culture program, you can take this and make it your own. And it's just this idea that the example we give is like on Mondays, the kids are going to hear, and the staff is going to hear, the word accountability every Monday. Every Tuesday, you're going to hear the word leadership. It's just going to become the language and the rhythm of who we are. So that's really what those core values are, and the purpose.
Yeah. And I think a lot of coaches and programs nowadays are talking about culture and the importance of that. And it's almost become like a buzzword where sometimes, it gets overused, but at the end of the
Absolutely.
day, I think it certainly does come down to, culture and having people, not only coaches, but also players who have that character within themselves that are not only going to do what's right, but do what's best for the program and, everybody around them. So I think now more than ever, it's important to have those types of processes in place.
Yeah, because like I said, I mean, if I have some personal core values and that's them, then my coaches can count on me to do what's right.
Definitely.
And then if all of my teammates have those same core values, or everybody on my coaching staff, if we're talking about coaches, have those same core values, we can believe that everybody's going to do the right thing, even when nobody's looking. And I just believe that that's how you build a successful program. You have to stand for something, and everybody stands for something, whether they know what it is or not.
Definitely. Yeah, and that goes on both ends. If you're not doing the right thing, you
Exactly.
might not even know it. You're going against what's right.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, any last words, Coach or Stuart? And I know most of the audience that is listening today is coaches. So, any last words you would have for our coaching community?
Number one, it's hard. Coaching's hard. So, you know, I admire you for answering the call and not giving up when in a time when a lot of people are. A lot of people are walking out of the coaching profession right now because it is hard for a number of reasons. There's a shortage. There's pay issues. There's overbearing parent issues. There's just a lot of issues. So I just admire coaches who understand their call and stay in the game. And so I ask you to stay in the game. And secondly, um, you are not what your record says you are as a person. A lot of times because in the coaching world, you get evaluated on wins and losses. And I understand why. I mean, you're paid to win. However, your true identity is not what you do. So just remember, I mean, you're a husband, you're a wife, you're a dad, you're a mom before you're a coach. And don't sacrifice those things for a career that will let you down. coaching will fail you at some point, right? So just, if you don't have core values, core principles you stand on, evaluate that, create those, stay in the game, don't give up. It's hard, but there's a lot of people rooting for you.
Definitely. Yeah, I totally agree with that sentiment, Stewart, and appreciate you sharing. So thanks again for everybody for watching, and best of luck with your business, with the podcast, and hope to stay connected with you.
Absolutely. Thanks again for the opportunity, and I look forward to talking to you again.